Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Hardy, and I am here. We're gonna go to the others.
Hi, I'm Kate Pizarchik Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Cass.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
Cool. The last episode would see us all arriving at the town of Narada, a settlement town built up after the fall, burning, destruction of Mary's Rise, where a lot of the people that survived just kind of went to exist, to hope for the fact that a new generation could maybe bring up something that they just did not have the strength or energy to do other than where they're at, which is huge for them because they got a lot done out of that place. It just has a lot more to go. Speaking of the next generation, Cass proposed taking them to Onsel to meet some of the kids and just doing a general hangout, and Frog spent a lot of time with her siblings, Anya and Barros, and kind of helped build them a tree house, and also setting up a funeral for their mother. And we kind of join you all now, well, Frog especially, will join you and your siblings the morning after you all wake up in your fancy tree house together.
All right. So Frog will wake up, assuming before the kids, and just kind of hang out in the main room until one of them wakes up and comes out to see her because she doesn't want to wake them up too early.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of them? So she'll work on her tombstone writing and think about what she wants to do to tell them what she's going to tell them until one of them comes out.
Have you solidified what you want to say?
Ish, yes. But, knowing the moment is coming, she's probably going to not say exactly what she wanted to.
And have you solidified what you want the epitaph to read as?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, then probably half an hour later, you would hear them both wake up. They're kind of even when they're not together, they just spend all their time together. So that thing of one wakes up, so cosmically the other gets up with them. And they come in. Archimedes rolls in with you. He's been in there, but hearing the other two come in, he wakes up as well, and he's like, "Oh, it's time for another day. We can go on adventures again today. Yesterday we built a house. What are we gonna do today?"
Frog just ignoring that is going to be like, "Good morning, everybody."
Good morning. We are hungry. Are we gonna eat the wood, or should we go back home and have food?
We can go get some food, and
Okay.
she'll take them back and make pancakes.
Mhm.
Okay.
You can make pancakes, yeah. And Pepin would be there. He can help out if you need. The other two, you can be there if you want, or if you just wanted some private time in the morning. Either way. But yeah, Frog, you're able to make a meal and set it up for your siblings.
Okay. After they finish eating, Frog will suggest they take a walk, and she'll kind of walk them to a little creek or something and sit down and to start talking to them. Do they object to the walk at all?
No, we can go on an adventure. Archimedes wanted an adventure today too, so we're going on a double adventure.
That's true, but Archimedes needs to take a nap right now so he can be really ready for his adventure later.
Oh, I feel okay.
No, I think you need a nap, Archimedes.
And we're getting to the end of the charm that you have on Archimedes, but you saying that just part of his eyes glaze over and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm tired now," and goes back into the house to go take a nap.
Okay, good. I did not need Archimedes there for this moment. Okay, so they'll start walking to the little stream and have a seat. Frog will tell them about the adventure she's been on, and that she went back to Mary's Rise, which they might not remember a whole lot about. So she'll kind of tell them about what it was like before the the catastrophe happened, and she'll tell them about how wonderful of a town it was and what their home was like, and say that she went back and discovered that she could actually talk to their mom. So after talking to their mom, she realized their mom really loves them and is now finally ready to move on. So we are going to have a funeral tomorrow to officially set her to rest. And then Frog will pull out these.
Okay. Frog will then take out her bag and pull out the little pouch that has the 2 rings in it that she wants to give to them. And she'll take them out and hand each one their proper ring and tell them this stone was part of was our mom's, and now we each have part of it to keep us connected and to remember each other always. And then she'll kind of give them both a hug, like both at the same time, and let them ask any questions or say anything that they want to.
So, what was Mom like? Because we never met her.
She was an amazing lady. She loved us so much, and she was so brave and strong, and she really did everything that she could to make our lives better.
Okay, and why is it only now that we're doing this? Like, was she not okay until now?
She was okay. She just wasn't ready to move on yet, but now she's had the chance to talk with me a little bit, and she knows that it's time for her to move on.
Okay. And okay. Do we have to do something? Because
Nope.
that's just kind of what we've had.
Yeah. If you want to, you can come to the funeral. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But I just wanted to let you know that that's what we're doing.
Okay. And so you said that you came back this time. Are you gonna come back only the next time when someone's dead, or are you gonna come back soon?
I'll come back sooner.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna go play with Archimedes now.
Okay, have fun.
And as they say that, you'll sort of like hear like some shuffling against the door, like, so, you know that noise when someone's trying to like get in but they can't reach the handle, and you'll hear Cass be like just muffled, be like, God, just, and then the door will swing open. You'll see Cass fall through the doorway, just hands full of like berries and stuff, ready to make breakfast, just sort of seeing everybody like, and I'll just walk in and spill them across the floor.
Yeah, so you walk in, spill everything across the floor, as the children run back out. Yeah, everything is right in your all's version of the world for the rest of the day. The kids all go off with Archimedes. Frog goes to the church to finish up any arrangements. What is, Frog, the epitaph you deliver for Heather to finish the stone?
It will say Marigold Battlebrook. Strong and brave. Her spirit will never fade.
Very nice. And you see, just with a simple spell, that's etched into a headstone that's moved out to where tomorrow you all will meet. And you are able to just kind of spend the day with your friends and with Pepin as Archimedes babysits the children. Quizzle may be going with them, just in terms of needing to be safe. Someone watching over the children being led wildly through the forest by a frog. But the day passes without incident, and we arrive tomorrow morning at the site of where Frog will be presiding her mother's funeral. And the children did come, so all of you would be there together.
Okay.
As I see Frog getting ready, like, in the morning. Like, obviously, this is sort of formal, informal thing, it seems like. I'm just gonna go up and be like, so, I don't mean this with any disrespect, but do you want us there? And I'll just sort of, like, motion to, like, me and Nori. It's like, we understand it's, like, a family thing, so if you prefer us to wait here and make a meal for when you come back, we can do that. Just, we're not sure what you specifically want.
I would love to have you guys there if you are willing to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll look back and just look at Nori and be like, are you ready to go? Or
I've been ready since I woke up this morning.
Okay, and the three of you, 2 kids, a frog, and Pepin, arrive to like an area behind the church where there's just like an semblance of graves. Some of them similar to frogs, just stones there for memories than anything else. You arrive to a freshly placed stone being propped up until the ground sinks it enough in to hold it itself, of Marigold Battlebrook right next to Fendel Battlebrook.
Frog will head up towards the headstones and drop some flowers at both her parents' graves, and then say a few words about her mother, how brave she was, how strong she was, obviously as written on her headstone, and then share a couple stories of what it was like growing up with her mom, partially for the kids, partially for her own sake, so they can learn a little bit more about her, since they don't know very much. After that, she'll kind of step back a little bit, and just maybe like kneel down near the gravesite, and you can tell she's like deep in thought.
Would the other two be doing anything here? Kate is very clearly even thought about something.
I feel like Nori, us, and Frog would have also chatted a little bit on the way, asking if there was anything in terms of the ceremony that they could do to help Frog with it. Maybe like adding some type of music or some type of flowers falling from the air, just to see if something with like the ambiance would help, and kind of like nudge Cass in the sense of maybe doing something with thaumaturgy.
so as Nori is like nudging Cass in the side, I'll just sort of look up, and from our time building the treehouse, Cass would have sort of just picked some of these like little flowers that were just nice little things that Frog and her siblings all seem to like and just put in the house in general, and just sort of take the bag and just sort of like empty it behind me incognito, and then Cass will snap his fingers and use prestidigitation, just sort of have the wind sort of blow the petals and flowers just around the area, just around the gravesite, just a little bit, just to make it seem a little bit less somber, try to like lighten the mood a little bit, make it seem a little bit more lighthearted. And other than that, just sort of cast dancing lights just above, not have them move, but just have them like just a nice soft glow over the area, just to let her Frog, more for Frog's sake than the kids, because from Cass's perspective, I'm seeing it's affecting her more than it is the kids, obviously. So just sort of do that, put my hand on her back, just say like, if you need anything, just let us know. And then just sort of leave her to her own devices with the flowers sort of still blowing but settling, and the lights remaining there for the duration, how long she stays.
And Nori, knowing that I can't really do much to help, I will cast Sanctuary and have it be on Frog in just a symbolic sense of having protection with her near her mom's grave.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Frog, your friends create a space for you just to exist for as long as you need. And how long do you think you would stay there?
Probably like 30 minutes. That's kind of a while, but she
Yeah.
would give the kids their time to go. Everyone else can leave, and she'll just like hang out for a little while longer, just kind of collecting herself.
Yeah, I think that 30 minutes kind of gives everyone a chance to go to the house and start getting things ready for whenever you're back. Whether Cass is cooking again, whether Pepin is stepping in for it. I'm just going to give each of you now like a little bit of time. What does the rest of that day look like? What does the rest of that week look like as you kind of like spend your time in Narada, not expecting any big changes, but just having a week where no one's expecting anything of you all, really?
Oh, I would spend some time training and getting to know Barbara, since she's now changed form into a water elemental, to kind of figure her out.
Mhm.
And then also at least want to spend some time in town just observing individuals and also going to the general shop.
Okay.
I would, following us getting back to the house, would use all the stuff that I bought for breakfast that was unused and start making a meal. Just something familiar, close to home for the meal itself. And then with all the fresh berries, just make like a simple like tart, something sweet that the kids will obviously enjoy, but something also to maybe help Frog like lift her spirits a little bit. And then through the rest of the week, I just sort of talk with Pepin a little bit. Use the mending stones I have throughout the remainder of the week, help him fix up the house a little bit, just sort of clean up a few things, as well as keep going out to the house with the kids, just to keep an eye on them, but also to like make it adhere to more what they were wanting to a certain extent. So adding a few little touches here and there, a few little like areas they can hide stuff that maybe Frog doesn't exactly know about, but we talk about that with her. And then other than that, just sort of going through towns, seeing how the area is in general.
Okay. And Frog.
Yeah. Frog will spend the next few days just spending as much time with the kids and Pepin as she can. Mostly doing fun things with the kids, playing in the yard and getting things fixed up as well. She also would like to take them with her to like the local tavern to have like dinner one day or something, and then also perform there, since it's been a while, and she'll donate any tips and anything she gets to the tavern as a thank you because that's where like she got her start. And she's definitely learned a lot since the last time she's been there. So she'll, try to impress the children with her magic tricks and
performance check to see how
everything.
well it all goes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess performance if you're leaning into the more like bardic side that you've recently started getting, or arcana if you're leaning more into your old trickery magic. Whatever your show is focusing on will determine what role you're making.
Okay. More of like the bard sense.
Okay, then yeah, do performance.
Okay. We have 19.
Pretty good. Yeah, like you've come a long way, and I think it shows. And like people in town remember who you are. People in town remember who like you were, and like they're just happy to see the success you seem to have found by getting out of here, because it's what they, or at least what Pepin was saying, he kind of wants for all the kids, but they just weren't ready for it. And you're kind of like the oldest one that wasn't quite a kid, but wasn't quite an adult. But when you've made it work, and hopefully the others can too.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I think we're gonna head out once again on the road back to Solana.
On the way to Solana, how long of a journey is it?
It's gonna be about 4 days on foot. So some
Okay.
things to keep in mind of things that you all would have wanted to do afterwards. Cass, you still have a package you never opened from Beirut. You also were going to let the brothers know when you were heading towards Solana. You were also going to let the princess know when you were heading there. And I think that's really all of the communications you wanted to do, unless anyone else has anything I'm forgetting.
No, that sounds right on my end at least.
Every day that we would travel,
Mhm.
I would bring out Barbara,
Mhm.
and I also wanted to cast a specific Twilight spell for cast, but we can talk about that later. So sorry, Frog, go ahead.
Frog will, before actually getting on the road and leaving, will write a letter to Dolly, just updating her and telling her she misses her and hoping she'll see her soon. Let him know that they're heading to Solana now.
I would cast Vigilant Blessing on Cass, and he would get an advantage on our next initiative roll
Mhm.
until we have an initiative roll.
Yeah, so tell us what it looks like as you channel your Twilight magic to give Cass an advantage on his day.
Having had such an intense experience at the Druid Circle, I've been taking the time to try and really get in touch with the Twilight domain and have a better understanding of the night and its relationship to the world, and just being more one-centered with myself. So I'm trying to use those gifts a little bit more, and just having an inkling that something is coming our way. Nori will touch her pine cone and put her hand again on Cass's arm and say, just in case we need a little bit extra luck, here's a little bit something extra for you. And okay, once Nori touches Cass's arms, it will spark out with some silver flames, and then that will be the indication that Cass has advantage on our next initiative roll.
Yeah. So yeah, Cass, a spark of silver flame, and you feel, I guess, motivated, or? Yeah.
So as I'm walking, I just see Nori come up, no warning whatsoever, put her hand on me, and flames just start shooting out. And I'm just like, what in the world are you doing? Not hurting, but hey, some fair warning next time, if possible.
No, I don't think so, but I'm just trying to help you out a little bit, Cass, and continuing to pat his arm, but Cass very clearly seeing that there's no flames coming out of my hand anymore on him, and also seeing that he's not being actively hurt, hopefully understanding that Nori is trying to get in tap with her divinity.
Yeah. And as you all walk, the first day goes without issue. You can send the letters on the first day. You can send sending on the first day. Anything you want to do that first day. It's kind of just a somber acceptance, I think, for both Cass and for Frog of you've both come a long way, and you are leaving the places that have defined you for a while in a much better way, if not a very different, changed way. So I think a day passes that allows both of you to really accept that with and for each other. Is there anything else you'd be doing on the first day before you... Because the way that Narada is, you're up, so at the end of the day, you'll make it back towards the road that actually leads into Solana all the way out to Onsel. But you have a day pretty secluded from anything else that you'd be having these realizations.
So as we're sort of making our way through town, I'd let the situation breathe for a little bit, and just let everyone just walk for an hour or two before we get too far into it. And as Nori's going ahead of the group, sort of looking at the trees and the animals, or typical go-tos on our travel. I'd go up to Frog, be like, again, if you ever need to talk, feel free. You know we're here, and I'm not the best person, or I don't seem like the most open person to talk to, but I can understand to a certain extent what you're going through. So if something comes up, feel free to come sit for a little bit if you would like. Again, no pressure. It's just more of an offer.
Yeah. Frog will thank you for that, and say the same to you, because you're also going through it a bit, as we all are. But she'll just kind of be like, yeah, I'm really just, the biggest thing weighing on me right now is that I'm leaving them so soon, and they don't necessarily understand why, but I do need to be out here and earning money to send to them and kind of creating my life as well. So it's hard.
I get that, and I want to put this offer out to you. I know, obviously, Narada is your new home, but if it doesn't truly feel like home and you want to relocate, like I said, after all of this is done, I'll be going back to Ansel. And I'm not saying, don't take this the wrong way, I'm not saying I want you to live with me. That's not what I'm saying. But the town is growing, seems to be on a very good trajectory. And if you and your siblings want to come live there, like I can work with Beirut and get some strings pulled to have you guys have a place ready. Also, I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there, it's also on the shore of like the ocean, so like Shali can come visit whenever you want. Just something for you to think about. Again, not that I don't like Narada, it's just I want to make sure that wherever you and your family end up, you feel safe, you have support to an extent. Also, Pepin's more than welcome as well. Like, this is an offer, but just don't feel like you need to stay somewhere where you guys won't happen or you don't see yourself long term.
Yeah. Frog kind of likes the idea of this and will like take it into consideration.
Yeah, and with that, like Cass will just sort of give you a quick nod and then sort of pick up the pace a little bit, and you'll see he will shoot I'll shoot a little glance back as I pull out the cookbook again, just sort of smiling to myself as we're walking down the road. Just sort of continue travel, like reading through it again.
Yeah. Then the next morning, you all are breaking down your camp, and you see two clerics of the Peace Domain walking down the road, seemingly out towards Ansel. Cass, can you make a history check real quick?
Yes. You said history?
Yeah.
Um, 18.
Yeah. Like, viewing them, you recognize one of them from being one of the ones in the play. And then the other one being one of the people that was around you that seemed most excited when Cassandra mentioned the westward expansion of the church. And you just see these two clerics going as far west as they have ever been, to a part of the country that's never really held the peace belief. They just seem to be walking and having a conversation, but you would see them making their way if you wanted to interact with them at all. You are muted.
How far away are they at this point?
They're like, if you're all packing up your thing, like your camp on the road, they'd be like 100 feet towards Solana coming in your direction.
So does it seem like they're actively paying attention at this point in time?
They seem to be like kind of like marveling at everything around them. You have a feeling that they probably grew up either in the capital or in Alara or the surrounding areas. This is like new to them. Having gone from like the forests and swamps over there through the farmland now to like your more like coastal, still having forests but nothing nearly the same like swampy stickiness of theirs, and like also very plainer because the forests are off for a while. Just kind of like leaving the encampments and fields of Solana, heading your way. They just seem to get into like marveling at everything.
So as I see them approaching, I'll look over to Frog and update her, like, hey, like these are definitely people from the church, and I'm assuming this is related to the westward expansion. I would say we try not to interact personally, but I don't see them producing any harm. And as I'm saying this, I'll turn my back towards them as they're approaching, and I'll cast Disguise Self on myself just because I don't want them to know it's me. So sort of was in their group for a little bit and don't want to ruffle feathers potentially. So if anyone's looking, they'll see Cass. Just the first person that pops into his head is Pepin. So just imagine a human-sized version of Pepin, a little bit bigger, red hair, reddish brownish hair, and then from there we'll turn around and start moving towards them. And as we approach, I'll just give a nod, wave to them, and unless they say something, I'm going to just look back at the group and keep walking forward.
Frog and Ori, anything you all do there?
Yeah, Frog would agree with Cass and not try to initiate anything. She might like try to like wrap her cloak a little bit further around her to be less recognizable, and maybe shoot a glance at Nori to like put on her armbands.
The
What are they
bracers?
called? Yes, thank you. That we have, so that, I mean, technically they're mine, aren't they? I'm the one who originally picked them up, but I don't know
They
if
were,
I have
but,
them or he has them.
yeah, no, they're still currently attuned to Nori.
Okay, so then I will give that look to Nori to put those on.
Nori will then click them on, but then this time will look like a sibling of Frog's as compared to Cass before, since that was the veil she had before. So make sure that her appearance is just different from what it appeared to be in Alara.
Yeah, she'll also tell Frog King to stay in the backpack and be quiet.
Oh, okay. Is there danger? Can I be of assistance?
Not danger, we just need to stay hidden.
Oh, okay. Well, I could do that, but also then we could, and it's just going to keep talking until you actually, like, you're going to have to cut him off,
Okay.
if you want to be quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, you all go on. Can I just get a perception check from you all? Not investigation, just perception as you pass them.
– 13.
17.
14.
Yeah. Then yeah, you would all pick up on the conversation that they're having. Like they do like the like polite nod and keep walking as you walk by. But you'd all hear them talking like, "Oh, it's so nice that we were the first two elected to go meet with the living saint and the high cleric, and we get to be the ones to form the Western Church. This is so exciting. We can really shape it in our own way and make sure that peace exists in the same way that we always think it should." And Nori, you on your higher perception see that like typically where like the white of their eyes would have the ring around, it's all been replaced with like a deep pink color.
Nori, I will mention this to Frog, Cass, and say, "This is a little weird. I'm feeling a little suspicious of this."
How so?
They typically have pink around their eyes, or they typically have white as compared to pink around their eyes. I'm feeling a little suspicious.
I mean, I agree that does seem odd. I didn't notice that as we walked by. I mean, do we have any like if it's pink, it's most likely the same situation we ran into with the person in the church that had that sort of energy about it as well. Do we have anything that can sort of counteract it? I don't have any spells that can really, if they're charmed or if they're under a spell, I have nothing that can break it personally that I know of. Have something? Because if we don't, like, we can approach them, but there's nothing we can do to help them at this point. And anything we would do to, in quotes, help may not be taken that way.
Hey, I think I might have something. Oh, but first, I will cast Detect Magic and see if that picks up anything.
Yeah, so you're gonna cast Detect Magic?
Yes.
Okay. You immediately get a ping, of some. Let me see what kind of magic. What kind of spell is it? Of enchantment magic. Very similar to like a modify memory sort of thing, but more in a charm way, where it doesn't feel like anything about them has been changed. It feels like they're under a very deep sort of enchantment that they don't know they're under.
Okay. I'll respond then. I don't know if I have anything that can quite help them right now, but it's still a little fishy, and I would know that lesser restoration does not help this condition.
I don't think you'd have a reason to think it might not. Also, if you had like a dispel magic, you could try and do it. Because, well, I guess it's blind. What is it?
Yeah.
One disease or condition. Yeah, it doesn't seem like lesser restoration would fix an enchantment, but like a dispel magic of some sort could, a remove curse of some sort could. Things like that might help. But yeah, lesser restoration's not going to do it.
Yeah, I'll turn to Cass and Frog and ask, do you want me to try something? It's not gonna be violent. It will just be like a little to them.
I'm just pondering at this point, because how far behind us are they at this point?
15, 20 feet. Like you all would have just passed when Nori started having this conversation with you.
Okay. I'm just going to have all of us slow our roll, like still moving away from them, but just slow down so the gap doesn't widen too much. And just sort of like, as we're walking, think for a second, be like, okay, I'm not great with magic still. You seem to be more efficient with it. The only concern I have is whenever I cast a spell on somebody, like damaging or violent or not, they know it's they know something's happening to them. We are the only people in the vicinity. So if you cast something on them, they're going to know. I'm pretty sure.
I really don't think that they'll know this time. It's just gonna be like a little bit of an unlocking of a personality, so to speak.
If you're comfortable with that, I have no qualms, and I'll just sort of give a wary glance at Frog and be like shrug my shoulders.
Frog, after hearing you say unlock a personality, is gonna be like, and then eventually just give a shrug.
With those two, like, kind of confirmations, I will go ahead and cast Dispel Magic at 3rd level, hitting one of them. It doesn't matter.
And as she's doing this, I will simultaneously be casting Mage Armor on myself, still walking away from them. Hopefully that nothing happens.
So, Kate, describe to me again how you're doing it.
Since we're walking away from them, I will just like point my little hand and do like a little cupped finger situation and just cast it towards one of the 2 clerics. It doesn't matter. It's just within 120 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you cast it, and you just see like the person like kind of stop walking for a second to go, wait, where are we heading? And the other one's like, we're going to help build the new church, remember? And the other one's like, no. Well, how did we get here? And they seem to be very lost.
Would I have then picked that up, like the conversation?
Yeah, you're slowed that you're still within like 30 feet of each other. It's not like, and he kind of raised his voice when it broke, like how like when you're
Okay.
lost, like, wait a minute, what's going on? You would
Having
hear.
noticed that it worked, I would dispel magic on the other individual as well.
Okay, cool. Same effect of like, where are we? Who? And then like, I think they're gonna look around and see the three of you passing, like, because you're not that far behind, and call out and be like, hi, you three, where are we?
Hey, yeah, I overheard you talking, and yeah, you passed us sort of seeming confused as you went by, so, everything okay? Or, I mean, you're outside Narada at this point. Like, Narada's, if you keep going down that road, like, that's where you would end up. Like, if you follow this route where we're going, and I'm gonna point in front of us, this will take you back to the main road that can either take you to Ansel or the capital. Yeah, are you guys good? You seem confused.
Yeah, how far away are we from Paternelle?
From Patronelle. Oh, you are. I mean, I'm gonna look at Frog, be like, you're across the continent, right? Like, Patronelle's like on the other side of the map.
No, it's in the middle, but directly up. It's like
Oh,
north.
sorry, I'm really bad at directions. It's not as far as I was thinking, but it's pretty far away. Like, you're a good hike.
Okay. The last thing I remember is I was heading up there for an assignment from class. Okay.
Well, I don't know exactly what's, and at this point, like, I'm approaching, so I'm not yelling across the field. And be like, well, I'm not exactly sure what you guys were up to, but I mean, if you're trying, and what time of day is it at this point in time?
It's still like the morning time. Like, you all would like gotten your stuff down, built up your area, and then like gone on from there. So maybe an hour or two after you would have like broken camp.
Okay, and I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you guys were up to, but if you aren't sure what you're doing at this point, I would maybe suggest heading to Narada just as a place to stay, only because I mean, the roads can get a little bit dangerous. There's definitely wildlife out here, and just sort of like, I'm going to give them a look up and down, be like, it seems like you are in your robes and such. I don't know if you're really going to be able to defend yourselves too much, so just be safe is all I would suggest.
Okay, okay, probably we'll head back to Alara more than anything. Because that's where we're supposed to go meet with the High Cleric and get our graduation review, and then I guess all of our stuff would still be at school, I would think. I'm James, by the way. Nice to meet you. And they'll point, like, and this is Sven. He's here. Yeah, I guess we're just. How do we get there? It's like that. It's pretty far. If we're down on the western side, that's halfway. Okay, well, I guess. Yeah.
Just being familiar with the area roughly, Cass will just sort of like be like, okay, you'd go pretty much down this road, go this way, you'll go through the towns that you sort of hit, and just give them general directions. I mean, there's really no majorly developed like roadways or travel networks aside from like the main cities, so just try to give them rough bearings of where they're going.
Yeah, and the easiest way would be essentially follow you all back to Solana and then keep going. But I don't know if any of you would offer that invitation to these two. But yeah, they are accepting of your directions. Like, thanks. This is weird. I hope you all have a good journey. And one will just like cast like a bless on you all as like a thank you. You see that it still has that same pink hue as the last time you saw a peace cleric cast anything. Their eyes have gone back to white, but the magic is still very pink as you all are blessed.
And as he casts this, I mean, just thank him for his kindness of casting that on us. But as he casts it, just sort of noticing that you again, I'll just look up and be like, just curious. Has your magic like always looked like that? It's interesting that it has like a pinkish color to it. So I was just curious if it's always looked like that, or if it's looked like that since you've been more affiliated with the church, as you said.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it is like, well, it's always kind of come from belief, like, and it used to be white. Like, all of the peace domain clerics it was white for neutrality, and I guess, yeah, in the last couple weeks it has been shifting, but I guess we all just kind of assumed that, like, the strongest belief would hold it, and so when it kind of started changing the same time that that Saint Tig died and that the new high cleric went in, so I guess I just kind of thought, and like we'll look to the other one who hasn't really talked about it, like, yeah, we just kind of, it seemed to be like a showing of who was the head cleric more than anything else, and I don't know, it's not really something that we've talked about it, but it's not really something we've like considered.
Yeah, no, I was about to say I don't think it's I just haven't seen that specific color too frequently. So just something I noticed. Again, I don't think it's anything for concern, but I mean, like I said, just travel safe. Like it seems like we're going in the same direction, so if something were to come up, like we'll probably just be ahead of you. So you'll be able to find us if something comes up, and we'll be more than willing to help. But just some quick parting words before we get going here. Just remember, like, your belief is your own. Like, the church is obviously a very good institution, but, like, don't sway from your own compass here to follow blindly. Obviously, the church is very good. Like I was about to say, I grew up with it myself. But just make sure, like, what you're following is truly what you believe as well. Because that's ultimately, in my opinion, what's most important. And with that, I'll just sort of like give them a nod without giving them time to respond. And I just sort of give them a nod and just sort of like start walking the other way.
Okay.
That was giving Nori telling Steph and Alto that they can die.
And I think that they'll take your cue to go to Narada just for the night to kind of like, they don't want to wander on a like try and get a day to get their bearings. But yeah, and then they're gonna go up. You hear them kind of muttering like, that is kind of the whole point of it. Like, we don't have a central belief. We all do our own thing. Like, okay, you would think someone that grew up with the church would know that, but whatever. And like, confused head up to Narada to just kind of get a nap in. Yeah, you all make it a bit more to like you would be out of earshot. Anything that would happen as soon as they're gone?
Oh, as soon as they're gone, I'm gonna drop my disguise self, just get back to normal, and just be like, I can't stand organized religion at this point in this land. It's just, it's so messy all the time, and there's no good way to talk about it to anyone.
You're telling me, and Nora will take off or stop the effects of the bracers and say, honestly, I was just trying to think of my name and I couldn't come up with one. So I'm really glad they didn't ask who we were because I was panicking. But you seem to do a really great job there, Cass. I'm impressed that you were able to say those things so eloquently.
And I'm just going to look at Frog for affirmation and sort of seeing the not so like more questioning look on her face, be like, I don't know if that's exactly, but
Frog will then just open her backpack and let Frog King back out.
Oh, we did it. We scared away the bad people.
We did.
sure
Good
did.
job, Archimedes.
But that being said, I'm assuming we are still walking at this point.
Yeah.
We're not just
And yeah, it's like
still.
if you kept a comfortable pace, it would take you like 2 days to get there. If you all started like booking it, you can make it there in a day, but you'd be pretty tired.
Yeah. So as we're walking, I would bring up to again, just like this pink magic is becoming much more prevalent. It's starting to come in. Obviously they didn't know what was going on. They didn't even really pay attention to it, but we know something's happening. So I think this is definitely something we need to bring up with. I don't want to bring it up with the princes, but I don't want to stress them out more. But it seems like it will be starting to become an issue if it's not addressed at this point. So that being said, I'll just look to Frog and be like, I think maybe you should reach out. Like, I only seem to reach out when I have something serious to talk about or when shit's hitting the fan. I think you have a better rapport with them. Not saying that they don't like me, but you are more jovial, happy-go-lucky side of them, Frog. So maybe reach out for this one. And then after I say that, I'll look to Nori really quick and be like, Nori, do you have sending?
Yes.
I would suggest that you maybe send a quick message to the brothers to let them know that we are heading to the capital now, because we have to update the princes. I can't remember their name for some reason, but we need to update them that we're coming and the brother.
Okay. So Nori with that note will then take a specific amount of time, and send a message off to Seth and Alto. I will say, hello, brothers. We are heading to Solana. Need to talk to the princes. Meet you there? Question mark?
You'd get back. Yeah. Happy to meet you there. Heading a week, heading a day, heading how long?
I will cast sending one more time. How many days till we get there? 2. We will be there in 2 days. See you soon! Exclamation.
See you soon. Seth will be excited to see Frog.
So
And then
after Nori says the quick, like, I'll look up and be like, so when you cast sending, like, they're connected? Like, do they both get it? Or does one get it?
Cass, do you think the fuck that I know? Nora will just like look at Cass and say, sorry, I didn't have enough coffee this morning. I apologize. I really don't know, but guess what? In 2 days we'll see them, so we can just ask them.
Kaz is just I'll just keep walking and start kicking a little like rock down the road, just like sort of putting my hands in my pockets.
Frog will then use the ring to contact Julian and be like, we're on our way. And it's almost time for a bachelor party. Also, we found some more pink magic, so you might want to let Dion know.
You get back. Yeah, thanks for the update. It's going to be a lot of fun. On our way, meaning like we'll get your suite made up. How long to do so?
We'll be there in 2 days.
So the scene, I'll just look at Frog and be like, so what did they say?
Julian's gonna tell Dion about the pink magic, and they're excited to see it.
Do they know when we're gonna get there?
2 days.
But you just said that out
Yes.
loud. Do they actually know?
Yes.
And with that, I'll just take my ring off and flick it back to her and be like, just send another one really quick.
Okay, Frog will then send the exact same message, just adding the 2 days part in.
Yeah, thanks. It's very helpful to know when people are arriving. And also, if like it's in 3 days and you're still not here, we can be concerned. Versus if it's like a week and we didn't know, that'd be extra concerning. Thank you for helping. Looking forward to the party. Bye. Nor you also have a ring to contact Dion or Julian if you want to fuck with this conversation as well. But
Nah, it's okay. I'll save it.
Well,
Beautiful.
I mean, can I borrow your ring really quick? And actually, like, I'll ask Frog for my ring back, just put it back on, and then be like, Nori, now can I borrow your ring really quick? Because I need to send a message to them.
Nori, cutting back all the sass that she could have towards Cass, taking a deep breath, says, "Yes, of course, Cass," and hands it over to him.
I'm going to ignore the obvious sass in that comment, but Cass will then use the ring, Cass sending to, let's do Dion. Dion? Yeah. And be like, just curious, I know I'm out of character, but what are your favorite flavors for dessert?
I do like really dark chocolate. And I like when it has fruit like strawberries or raspberries with it. I also really like caramels. If you have any sort of caramel things. Strange ask. Hope you're well.
We don't have any more sending, so that's it.
Don't. Yeah, it would require actual spell slots from someone. And I don't think Frog has sending, and I don't think Nori has that many third level spell slots left for the day. So, yeah, that is, I guess, how you all kind of spend the rest of the day, just talking, wandering, organizing things before you reach what would be like, with the pace being picked up, what would be like then the last part of the last night you would need to spend of your journey. And you get to the edge of like the fields where you all know that those scarecrows live, where you can see like it's not late fall. I mean, it's not early winter, but it is now late fall. And you can see like all of the squashes and all the corn and all of like the very large bounty of things that will grow here before it becomes untillable, long, hard winter land. Down here in the south, it's not going to be nearly as hard as it is way up in the boreal lands. It's just going to be cold and kind of unusable. But you're able to make a camp here, at the edge of the Solana limits. What do y'all do for like what's going to be kind of like your last night of adventure before going back to civilization for the first time?
So, I'll just sort of get off the path once we decide, like, hey, we're done hiking. And then sort of start clearing an area just for us to settle down and look to Nori, be like, do you want to set up your hut or do you want rough it? Like, what are you thinking?
The last time that Nori set up the hut, Cass didn't want to be in the hut. So Nori will look at Frog and say, Frog, would you like to join me in my hut tonight? Or would you like to camp out here by yourself? Or in your own little tent?
I would love to join you in your hut.
And then Nori will look at Cass and say, since another person is joining me in my hut, Cass, would you care to join me now?
I'm just going to let out a exacerbated sigh at this point and be like, okay, Nori, there's just certain connotations with human interactions I don't think you're privy to. Like, if we're in a house with someone we just met and you're like, do you want to join me in bed in my house? It sometimes has a different definition than just sleeping. So yes, I will join you. I just didn't want to send the wrong messages because we are not together.
Well, that sounds like a you problem, and I am being kind enough to at least give you shelter. So Nori will then go and cast Limoon's tiny hut for us all to sleep in for the night.
Wait, and like Cass is saying this under his breath. Wait, I'm confused. Do you want us to be? I'm so, like, at this point, Cass is just shutting up and just walking to the hut.
Yeah. Anything you all do in the hut?
I will take time to just sit with my silver pine cone and just try, not in commune, but send to Tanya all of kind of the information that we've learned and just thinking about it and praying to her, asking for guidance potentially down the road since we're getting back to Solana so quickly. And then take out the coffee beans that I got. Did I get coffee beans or did I get coffee ground? I got coffee beans.
You took a bag of beans.
I am going to try and ground some of them up and put them in little tiny individual packets so that way I can make instant coffee if I need to.
Feeling bad about the whole interaction outside of the hut, Cass will just go up and cast guidance on her as she's trying to grind her coffee beans.
14.
Okay, yeah. It's not a fine grind. You definitely cannot make like an espresso out of this, but it's enough. You could put it in packets and it would brew. It's
Perfect.
It's there.
Well, that's what Nori is going to do.
And Frog, you hear Archimedes hop in and be like, so we have a party to plan. I was co-head of the planning committee. What are we going to be doing? What is the goal for the party?
Our goal is to make sure that Dion has the most fun possible, and also Julian, but Julian doesn't really need help with that. So, what are your ideas?
We can have a party, and I don't know. I've never met them, so I don't know what they like. You told me that they did not like Advanced Leapfrog. Well, Julian liked Advanced Leapfrog, but you said that Dion didn't like it, so that's kind of my only plan. And I don't think it's good. So maybe you should be the head planner and I'll be the backup co-head planner.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. And then Frog will get out her stationery and start writing down ideas with Archimedes as her assistant.
And what are some of those ideas? Go ahead, Cass.
And as she starts writing this stuff down, I'll just chime in from the corner. Dion likes dark chocolate with potentially some fruits and caramel. So that plays any role. I will try to figure out the quotes cake or whatever we're doing if you would like help with that.
Yeah, because I suppose at the same time that Frog is needing to plan this party, Nori, you're technically supposed to be planning a wedding.
Did we even talk about when that was going to be happening?
They wanted it before the actual wedding, which you all got an invitation knowing it's at the end of the month. So.
Soon after we get back. Not immediately, but...
So, really, Nori, like, as Frog is sort of diving into her, like, stationery, writing stuff down, I'm just gonna look at Nori and be like, have you ever... What did your wedding look like?
Well, and Nori will go on this whole spiel of what my wedding looked like, but then let Cass know, I got it. We got a couple days, and so part of this evening I will also spend the ceremony. looking at Cass and say, "Thank you for the reminder. Good old buddy."
So, are you sure you don't want help?
No.
Okay.
I'll run it by both of you before the actual day.
Maybe just make sure you go talk to them about what you're planning so it's for them.
Well, maybe I could talk to them about it if someone didn't have to use my ring.
You know what? That is I will take the blame on that one. I apologize. And I'll leave you to your bean grinding.
Frog, I think you would hear that arrangement where Cass very much could have pointed out that you're the problem with that, but Cass chose to take accountability to Nori. But anyway,
Okay.
what is your plan? What is your
Frog's
party
gonna-
planning looking like? Oh, go ahead.
So Frog's top 2 items on the list currently are an escape room that we custom make,
Okay.
or a treasure hunt. So she's gonna put it out for a vote with
Mhm.
Cass and Nori, and Archimedes as well. He did help with some of the ideas, but she mostly did all the work. So she will let the 3 of them vote, since we need an odd number for a tie break, just in case. Archimedes, Nori, and Cass, I need you to cast your votes. Do we want an escape room or a treasure hunt for the bachelor party?
Ooh, I think a treasure hunt would be fun. I like that idea.
So, a few things before I cast my vote. These are both great ideas. But is there going to be drinking involved?
Yes.
Do we think it's a good idea to have the 2 future rulers of the country running around the city, potentially heavily intoxicated, doing a treasure hunt? If we keep it within the confines of a non-public space, like their chateau, perhaps, then I am all for this. That would be my
Yes,
only
it will
stipulation.
not be in public. It will not be in public.
Then I'm game for the treasure.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We can do that. I can hide things really well, and we can escape.
And Cass, I'm just gonna
Excellent.
start laughing at myself, imagining like wet frog prints leading to everywhere that something's hidden. Just sort of like a trail to where he hid all of the stuff in the house. But
Yeah. 1 second.
was
Yeah.
there any other topics we needed to discuss? Or are we good for the night? Nori, was there anything else you had? Did you get all your beans ground up?
Would you like to try it, Cass, before we go to bed, or would you like me to just brew you a fresh pot in the morning?
I don't need a full pot. No one needs a full pot for themselves. But, Frog, was there anything else you needed to discuss at this point? Otherwise, I probably will be heading to bed here.
Nope. Frog is gonna start mapping out the treasure hunt.
All right.
Yeah, with that, I think we will come to the end of today. Next time we'll join ourselves as we get back to the city for apparently a treasure hunt bachelor party. And I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you, always, players, for playing. Thank you, audience, for listening. We are Help Action Needed all across the internet, and if you'd like to get in communication with us, you can reach out to us at helpactionneeded@gmail.com. We love hearing from all of you and hearing your stories and how you'd like to interact with the show. So yeah, very happy that you're here. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you, audience, for listening, and as always, goodbye.